Good morning, class 9. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing great. Fine. And so today is the 14th, and this Independence mood. And tomorrow there will be flag hoisting in the school. So I guess I'll be there. Satish sir will be there, and few of us only. So we can't have everybody there. So social distancing, independence with social distancing has to be there. So okay, anyways, so great. Best of luck to all of you, and wish you all the best for your independence. For our independence of India, the 73rd one has finished. We are stepped into the 74th year, and enjoy and hoist a flag if you can at your home, and sing the national anthem the way I have taught you in the same rhythm. And you know that Panda knows it, so Panda is there. If you want any help, you can ask Panda to sing for you on the mobile. She'll send the recording. And we have Pranjali also there. She was there in the March past and all. So these guys know all about it. Some of you were also there, the guys. Yes, Anish was there, right? Anish, Aman, and I guess you guys were there. So anyways, so just do it at home and respect and be with your family and tell your parents to tell you some stories about the past during their time, how it was and all that. So you'll spend the day and you'll have fun. Eat well, sleep well, and have some good independence food tomorrow of your favorites. Cook something yourself. You're independent, so you can do it and feed everybody at home. It will be a nice thing. Culinary art, you will learn something of cooking cuisines and some good cuisine, independence cuisine of 1947. Try to cook something up during that 1947 time. So we'll come back to Russia. Okay, so let's forget about our country right now. So we there on SSC, we were there in Russia, after the February strike, what happened, and I was telling you about the history which I had given you. Uh, we had done till, I had given the roots of revolutions. I hope you must have written it down. These are very important points which I had told you. The February revolution, will start from there today again. Contrary to Shlavnikov's prediction that the protests would peter out, the unrest snowballed in the last days of February. Red flags and banners began to appear, calling the downfall of the monarchy. I am reading from the past where we had left. So this is all what happened. Then Tsar Nicholas's abdication happened, and the freest country returned to Russia. Lenin came back from exile. We have done that. Then I told you about Marx and Karl Marx and Lenin. Then what happened was the road to civil war. For the leaders of the provisional government, the preservation of the Russian state depended upon the success of the military. Okay, everything depends upon the military. What happened? Why did the civil war started? The provisional government actually, the preservation of the Russian state depended upon the success of the military. Defeat by Germany, they lost to Germany, could mean a return to the old order and restoration of the Romanov dynasty. But from the pressure under the Allies which they had, Russia launched a new offensive in mid-June 1970. For 2 days the Russians advanced, but on the third they were pushed back by the German counter-offensive. Alarmed by the German advance, the provisional government mobilized the 1st Machine Gun Regiment, which comprised most of the pro-Bolshevik soldiers in the Petrograd garrison. These guys were there. Accusing the government of using the German offensive as an excuse to disperse Bolshevik elements, the regiment resolved to overthrow the government if it continued with its counter-revolutionary order. But despite the regiment's stand, the Bolshevik leaders were very more cautious. On July 4th, throngs of soldiers, workers and sailors from the Kronstadt naval base marched through the city in armed ranks. They massed in front of Bolshevik headquarters looking for instructions. But at this crucial moment, Lenin lost his nerve. He got very angry. He gave no call for an uprising. Their failed uprising, dubbed the July Days, was followed by a crackdown. Police stormed the Bolshevik headquarters. Hundreds of Bolsheviks were arrested, and Lenin went into exile again. This time he was sent to Finland. He cannot come into Russia. He was going against this government, right? The provisional government he was going. Now the summer of the discontent, what happened? The July days. There were 3 tumultuous days that initially began as peaceful demonstration in Petrograd against the provisional government. Head by Prince Lvov. Workers and soldiers took the street on July 3rd, 1917, but on July 4th, violence broke out. The provisional government could not control the riots. The Petrograd Soviet did not step in, and the Bolshevik would not endorse the revolt. They had started the revolt. Without a leader and a goal, the protest lost focus and momentum. But the new project of the government had been broken down. Lvov resigned, and Alexander Kerensky became the prime minister. This he used as an opportunity, golden chance, to discredit the Bolsheviks. And he said that Lenin has got ties with Germany. This public opinion turned against the Bolsheviks, against the Lenins. Many leaders, including Leon Trotsky, were jailed. But Lenin was able to escape to exile in Finland. People wanted freedom. Lenin is coming, he is saying that we are not, but capitalism was going on under him. Yes, he said everything is okay by the people, but that thing was going on. Now, Kerensky was the provisional government's sole socialist person. Now, he was given the responsibility to reunite the country and hold it towards the civil war. People are fighting together. He was the only politician with popular support, but yet also he was acceptable to the military leaders and the bourgeois. Lvov resigned from office on July 8th. Kerensky became the prime minister. Now, when Kerensky took over the office, he became a more authoritarian. You must have read it in civics books. Authoritarian is under one, rule, military type rule. He will not listen to anybody. This is fixed, you have to do this. Authority. He passed new restrictions on public gatherings, restored the death penalty at the front, and resolved to restore military discipline. Everything had gone upside down, isn't it? When there is no leader and all, he tried to get it into position. Now the coalition government, the bourgeois, the Bolsheviks and all were there in the coalition government, the military all together had formed this government, was no longer bound by the Soviet principles. By the before principles which were there of the monarchy. The head of the army, General Kornilov, meanwhile appeared briefly as a national savior. He demanded a series of measures that effectively amounted to the imposition of martial law. Martial law means you just cannot have that authority and say kill this person and that person will die. There has to be a system. Kerensky agreed to it. But then he had a change in his heart again. Something had happened. Kerensky agreed, but then again he changed. He turned against Kornilov, calling on the Soviet to mobilize defenders against the general's forces. Forces sent to impose order on the capital. They were fighting against each other. The Bolshevik leaders were released. Red Guards organized the defense of the factories. But there was no need for fighting at Kornilov's forces. There was no need of fighting, as Kornilov's forces were persuaded by the Soviet people to put down your arms, the military. Kornilov was put into jail with 30 other officers. Viewed by conservatives and political parties or martyrs, these Kornilovites were later to become the founding nucleus of what is known as the White Army, to be pitted against the forces of the communists, known as the Red Army, in Russia's impending civil war. White Army against the Red Army. Communists were red, they have the red flag, and the Kornilov whites were the White Army. Communism against the forces of communism. Lenin's movement, what happened? You have to listen very carefully. I'll come back in the next video.